Hello from Egypt and welcome to another adventure with Sarah. Today I'm here with Hoda, who is my wonderful guide. She's going to tell us all about this thing behind us. What is this behind us?
That's the Great Pyramid, the only surviving wonder of the ancient world. The building that was built by Egyptians almost 2,500 BC, so it's nearly 4,500 years old. One of the magnificent historical sightseeing that you cannot miss if you ever decided to come to Egypt with Adventure with Sarah.
So join us today for an adventure through the ancient pyramids of Egypt.
Welcome to Cairo, welcome to Egypt, welcome to the city of the 1,000 minaret, welcome to the city of the most ancient historical sites. Welcome to the Giza side of Cairo, where you can see the only surviving wonder of the ancient world, which is the Great Pyramid. Today with Adventure with Sarah, we're visiting the Great Pyramid, and we're not only going to see one pyramid, no, we're going to see 9 different pyramids. We're going to show you the great big ones, the famous ones, in addition to the little ones that you can see to the other side. The little ones belong to the queens. In Egypt, we have over 118 pyramids, and each and every one of them was used as a burial place or final resting place for kings of ancient Egypt. Kings in ancient Egypt were divine. Their people loved it. They decided to honor them by building their final resting place. If your king guarantee a good afterlife, it means that you're gonna enjoy your afterlife as well, and those were their thoughts. The Great Pyramid was built using over 2.5 million stones. The average weight of the stone is between 2 to 15 tons. If you ever get closer and come here to see the stones, you can see how big they are. Total height of the Great Pyramid was over 147 meters, and for so many centuries it was considered to be the highest building in the world, the first skyscraper. We're lucky to have you in Egypt if you ever decided to come and visit. So here we go. We have the first one, the Great Pyramid. It used to be 147 meters in height, but it lost its top, and now it's almost 137 meters in height. A beautiful building that was considered to be the highest skyscraper in the world up till modern days. And it belongs to King Khufu, the second king of the 4th dynasty, 2500 BC. The second pyramid belonged to his son, and it's almost 142, the original height, but now it's almost 139, so it's just a little bit deteriorating. You might get confused if you come here by yourself, thinking that the second one is bigger than the first one, which is not true. The second one was built on a higher plateau. That's what gave you the impression that it's bigger than the first one. And the third one is the one that belonged to the grandson, King Menkaura or Mekerenes, and it's almost 60 meters in height. Behind the little one, we have 3 little pyramids that belong to the wives. Yes, you heard the right pronunciation, wives, not one wife, because the pharaohs were allowed to have multiple wives and so many concubines. So we have two pyramids, little one that belong to 2 wives of the same king, and the third one belonged to his mother. The 3 pyramids were once covered with a very smooth limestone casing. The limestone casing, we lost it because of earthquakes that happened centuries and centuries ago. In particular, 13th and 14th century earthquake caused the falling of the outer casing. And then the outer casing was used by Egyptians as a raw material for building their houses, mosques, and churches. If you're wondering how long would it take to build each one of those pyramids, I could easily tell you that the estimated time for building the Great Pyramid is almost between 24 to 27 years, because this is how long the king ruled. And according to the traditions of ancient Egyptians, once anyone gets to the throne, this is when they decide building or preparing his final resting place. King Khufu ruled for 27 years, and this is the estimated time for building the Great Pyramid. How many stones that you guys think that it they used for building the Great Pyramid, the very first one, they almost used 2.5 million stones. The average weight is something between 2 to 15 tons, and all the stones were locally quarried, which means that they were cut from the same area, while they were covered with a beautiful limestone casing that was quarried from the other side of the Nile, the eastern side of the Nile, as we're now on the west bank of the Nile.
So at some point in your elementary school career, you were told that these pyramids were built by slaves, but that's not true. They were actually built by farmers, and they were built with paid labor. So that's a myth. We also know that a lot of those workers were buried nearby because there was an excavation very recently that found their workers' village. A few other things you might not know about this pyramid. This pyramid is just one of 9 in this area, and there's smaller ones for the queens versus the kings. And why? It's because the kings were considered divine and the queens were considered human. What's absolutely fantastic about this is you're not going to see anything this complete remaining almost totally intact from this time in history. So Egypt is really an amazing place from that point of view, that you'll see things that are older than really it's hard to imagine and wrap your mind around. So more from the pyramids in just a few.